our Divas podcast.
Yes.
You have your regular host, Oma Wanda, Mama J, and Lady OG.
Oh, it's good to be
I know that you've missed our beautiful faces.
Yeah.
But no fear, because we're back.
Yes, stronger.
We're back and we're getting bigger, we're getting better. If you would notice, the sound, the audio quality is much, much better than you've ever heard. So,
feeling ourselves now. Yeah.
So we stay thankful for progress, we stay thankful for growth.
Yeah.
And we need to
say thank you for something.
We need to even acknowledge that we took an unsanctioned leave of absence. It was beyond our control.
Yeah.
But let's focus on the positives. We're back and we're better and we're happy to be here. So to start off, how have you guys been?
Oh, let's say this at the start of the video. We're going to say thank you for 1K views, right?
Yes, one of our videos surpassed 1,000 views.
A lot of You're really dancing. But really, thank you guys for 1K views.
Yeah.
It's very encouraging to see.
Very encouraging, very exciting.
You guys, and it is more like an encouragement for us to continue doing what we're doing, because we know at least people out there liking our content. So
yes. Yeah. So I think the next goal is 1,000 subscribers.
Yes.
Please,
very important.
Yes.
But first off, let's acknowledge our 52 subscribers, because
thank you guys. We appreciate you. Please share.
Because we know that jointly we don't have 52 family and friends.
Yeah.
So if 52 subscribers are
into
there,
us,
then it means you kind of like us, don't you?
Yes. They do.
So thank you very much for that.
Thank you guys.
So how have you guys been though in our long period of absence?
Was it that long?
It was 3 weeks.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
When you're so busy, you don't even know.
In fact, I was telling Ogo behind camera that I don't think I remember how to be in front of the camera anymore, because when you're doing something and you're so used to it, and then you take a leave of absence, like you have to start learning how to be in front of the camera again.
Yeah.
Where's my
It's like you're learning again.
Where's my fine angle? That time I know where my angle is. Now I'm like, don't know again. We are starting all over. But yeah, it's been very busy. Oh, for those of you guys that watched Grandma's episode, Grandma has gone.
So everyone is facing the harsh realities of the absence.
Yes, we bring us to our present topic for today.
Yeah, grandmas were playing a huge role behind the scenes.
True.
So we're trying now to manage this part of us and that part that they were playing.
To just navigate the new way of living while they're away. But anyway, the time that we've been away, I've dealt with sick kids.
Oh God.
I've dealt with a really busy job, and I was thinking to myself the other day that there was a specific week I was just thinking about it, that in this week, like, what have I done that didn't involve husband, that didn't involve kids, that didn't involve a family member or a friend? Like, what have I done for myself?
Yeah.
That day I just vex go do mine.
It's like I was saying to you that I'm feeling sick, but then they started feeling sick and I forgot I was sick.
Yeah. You had to just pocket your own feelings first and sort the entire family.
I think at one point in this house, all of us were sick. I married the kids, her husband, every one of us was sick. It was more like Momsi left us
and dropped the sickness and left.
I just don't know how she did that.
I'm telling you,
but you know what?
It was quite a struggle.
Are we in spring now? We're in spring now, right?
Yeah.
So I noticed that each time, if you're like, we live in Australia, so of course our own seasons is very different from
everyone else.
From everyone else's. But I noticed that when you're in between seasons, there's too much
transiting. Like I watched on the news, they said there is so much pollen.
There's a lot of falling.
It's true, because she left at the end of one season. So we began a season without her. So the changes. Yeah, that's it.
Anyway, bottom line is we're happy to be here, and today we are talking about something that a lot of you might relate to. We're talking about stay-at-home mom versus the working mom.
I'm telling you.
Finding the balance. Is one better than the other? You know? So that's what we're coming to chew on today.
Yeah. And we have a very perfect example because one of us is just transiting from staying at home to being a working mom. And this past 3 weeks, Omari, how are you?
It's been 3 weeks or 2 weeks. I don't think I've ever in my life thought I would stay at home. I like to work, and I'm sure most people, but I think we get to that stage where you're not even making the decision. You are seeing that that's the decision that has been made for you even before getting to that point. But it was 10 months of having to stay at home. And I think even in that 10 months, every day I'm always like, how do you really manage going back to work? I remember telling you that, you used to say this, that you don't mind staying at home. And I used to wonder, but man,
going back out there.
Because something doesn't change. You going back to work doesn't change what you were doing while you were staying home.
It doesn't change your responsibilities.
It doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
So you're now imagining, like, I do 24 hours round the clock and I feel like I only rest for 4 hours. When I go back to work, what's going to happen? Nothing is changing. So it's like you still have to do that.
It's an add-on.
It's an add-on, and I think that's why there are a lot of people that just can't afford to go back to work. Like, I'm struggling as a stay-at-home mom, and then me going back to work, but then the situation of the country.
Yeah.
So you're taking on that much. You can't even do that more, but you're taking on that much because there's expenses.
There's no other way
There's
around
no other way around it. So you find out that if you don't even go back to work, you're not even happy staying at home because some things are not moving. And so what? You just need to manage. But it's really been hard because, in fact, I don't think I'm feeling too well, but we're still doing what we have to do. But it's hard because you're doing the same thing and then you need to start to manage time. But like I would say, you also know that you're going to find yourself neglecting some things unintentionally.
Some things will suffer.
Some things will suffer because a part of you has been dedicated to something else. So you can't really manage. 24 hours is not enough.
Yeah. So we can hear your voice.
You gotta do what you gotta do. For you guys, we'll run the video. Sing or no sing. Yeah.
I think that as a working mom, like for someone like you that is so used to being hands-on, working, like what you like a career, you don't just want to be defined as a stay-at-home mom. You want to do more for yourself. I think that with someone like you, staying at home will not even be like part of your ideas in the long run. Whether you have to balance, you have to just look for a way to balance it. You have to look for how, maybe, for example, the cleaning of the house can suffer. Maybe you look for ideas. Okay, maybe this day I'll use it to clean the house, or this day, because the kids too also suffer. You find out that you just drop them at childcare. You come back and you just pick them up. I find out that as a working mom, some things would suffer. For example, you have less time to spend with the kids. You pick them up, you drop them off, you pick them up. When you come back, maybe it's almost time for dinner, bed, So I don't know. I as a person, I know I also like to work. I like to be more independent, but I don't know where one can find the balance because sometimes I think it's so hard. Especially for us as moms. I don't think it's even as hard on fathers, but I think as moms, for us, it's so difficult and hard because the work never ends.
It doesn't. But would you say one is better than the other?
I don't even think so. I don't think so.
Depends on your state of mind. I think at some point you say this, but then at some point you say this. I went back to work and I said something to my colleague. There's something about that guilt that would never go away. You just need to learn how to manage
Mom's
it.
guilt.
But also in saying that, every day I understand why I hear people go into postpartum depression, people are unhappy after they have had kids. Because even though money is one thing, I was saying to my colleague that if I look at the money we pay for the 3 kids in childcare right now, I don't see the reason why I should go back to work. But for my own sanity.
Yes.
Because it's time away from, oh my God, he's going to fall down. Oh my God, you haven't eaten. Oh my God, you haven't done this. 3 children, 3 different needs. You're only increasing, you don't know it.
Yeah.
So I said, work is a different kind of stress, but it's also time off for you.
It's like time off from this stress.
Yes.
To deal with this stress.
But you prefer
one stress
over the
is
other.
better than
Yeah.
one in depending on how you look at it, because children, they are blessings, they are what we love. This we made the decision to be their mothers, but you need to be okay to look after the kids. So yes, you should have time off, and if time off does not mean going back to work, you need to also find something you can do that gives you a break. Because I think if they actually have to conduct a research why some women are unhappy, the fact is that people are struggling with managing family, and that's why every time you see them, they're like this, thinking of the next thing they have to do. You're hardly seeing a smile on their face, but they know how to smile for the world. But then the struggles are real.
I was having a conversation with a friend recently, and I was talking about how work was very stressful. She said, and then she just had a baby. She said, I wish I had your kind of stress. I'm tired. I miss going to work. I'm like, I know, but I understand I have to make this sacrifice like right now. But I really miss going back to work. I miss having my own money. So for some women too, it's also because of financial independence.
Yeah. So
they need to be independent financially. They don't want to depend on anybody. They're used to having their own money, calling the shots, whatever they want to do. But now they have to be dependent on their partner. Or can you give me some money for this week? Some ladies don't even want to ask, so that's why they will even go back to work as soon as they can.
Yeah, I think there is something missing in the way society is structured, in that, like in the past, it was enough to live on one income.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You could achieve a lot on one income. But in the push in the push for equal rights for women, I think there's been a disconnect somewhere. Because as much as women want to be treated equally under the law, it does not mean that we are willing to sacrifice our natural predisposition on that altar. So if as a woman, I love being a mom, I love having my kids, I love being a homemaker and all of that stuff. I don't like cooking. But I love, all that womanly, homely kind of a thing.
That I like that. Remember that those jollof rice we ate at your house? That's why you say you don't like cooking.
I cook.
Do you know how many places I ate that day?
Yeah, I cook because I have
and we have to eat.
I have people to feed. That's why I cook. But I love everything that comes with all of that.
Yeah.
But if I say, I'm just going to do this thing that I love, like I really love doing all of this, there is no payment for being there's no financial gain from being a mom. So we are all just dependent on my husband's income, and that is very restrictive. That is very, like, it just limits the things that we can do.
It's just enough, not for over and beyond.
It's just enough. It's not for anything beyond your immediate needs, so to say.
Nails,
But if the current economic situation is also not helping, so let's even say you were even managing, you were doing fine with that income. In the last year, no, we're not doing fine because,
oh my God, I went to do groceries last week or earlier on this week, and then when I got home, I felt so angry because things that, like, when I do like weekly shop on a normal day, if I, when you finish picking all the necessities and now you're just picking for the sake of picking. Even like in the past, when I do that, I don't spend more than $150. But by the time I got to the checkout place and I had to pay, I was like,
oh my goodness.
Like, and I looked at the trolley and I'm like, I just pick necessities. I didn't even go crazy, I just picked basic necessities, and I was paying over $200. And I was so angry when I got, when you spend some kind of money that you're like, I can't justify this expense. Like, it should not be this expensive. The prices of things are just inflated, and I don't just understand it. But then I've lived both sides of the coin, staying at home and being a working mom. I love being a stay-at-home mom. Anyone who thinks that staying at home means that you're just crossing your leg and watching TV all day, watching reality shows, that's far from the truth. Being a stay-at-home mom it's a lot. it's a lot. I mean, in the time that you during your maternity leave, is when friends are coming around, they'll come to your house. You have time to accommodate that.
Yeah.
You have time to extend yourself in ways that you won't be able to if you are working full time. And as you said, working does not even stop what's going on in the house. It just puts a pause on it, and then when you come back home, you pick it up and continue running with it. Because there are days that if you get 3-4 hours sleep, you're even thankful that
Which is why when some partners come back home and then you say, oh, I'm not able to get dinner done yet, and they'll be like, what have you been doing all day?
That's not even a question that should be leaving anyone's lips.
It's a lot actually to stay at home, because by the time you're done with cooking, I haven't done laundry. I need to do
even
this.
if you were not able to clean, just the time you spend with your children, keeping them engaged, keeping them productive. Because staying at home, you start to teach your children things. In the time that I stayed at home, I was like homeschooling my kids, and I saw how that impacted them in their academics as well. But now going back to work, I don't have time for that anymore. It's the rushed 30 minutes. Have you done your homework? Let me see, do this, do that. And I'm off to the next thing. If it's cooking, if it's cleaning, if it's laundry, there's just a lot. And I think something needs to change in society to accommodate being a stay-at-home wife and being a working mom. Because now it's almost like there's a push, girl boss, boss lady.
Yes.
As if it's compulsory for you. You can't even stay winning at home and winning in the office. It's hard.
So are you saying that we can't have it all as women?
We cannot have it all as women.
Are you sure about that?
You can't have it all, but you have to be intentional about how to go about it, how to strike. Like, going full-time might not work for you. You might want to consider part-time.
I think we can have it all. It just depends on planning, I think.
But but you'll still be compromising on almost everything.
Yeah, well, but at least...
And in compromising, you're not having it all.
What if, for example, you do like proper time management? You can still have it all with that. Or you get the perfect job, maybe hybrid, working from home or something like that.
I will say the point where you probably start to enjoy the illusion of having it all is when you have older kids.
Yes, I agree.
That are largely independent from you for their physical care and all that. And then at that point, you can now start pushing more in your career. You can start climbing the ladder, knowing that your kids are older, so they can chip in a little bit here and there, so that it also sort of lessens the whatever you need to deal with at home. Because maybe if I have like a 15, 18-year-old, they can do the laundry, they can run the dishwasher, they can do those
saying that these sacrifices are sacrifices we have to make for at least 10, 12 years.
Oh yes. If you're a mom with kids younger than 10, I don't see, unless you have your career is not just support system, unless you have like a really, really good paying job, so that you can pay for a cleaner who comes in weekly to clean up your house, do the laundry.
Have a chef.
You have a chef to take care of dinner. So you outsource. You outsource all of that, and that gives you the time to, because the huge chunk of being a mom, of being a stay-at-home mom, is your duty to your children. So if you outsource all of that, now you have this chunk of time that you can allot to them.
Not just even to your children, your partner as well.
We were talking from the perspective of being a mom. So you have that time that you can allot to your children. You can go out to the parks. You can, do fun things with them and become the fun mom. But if you don't have that kind of money to outsource all of that, then it becomes a real struggle. Because even when you take... Like, sometimes I still feel guilty when I call work and say, oh, my child is sick. My child is sick. I can't work today. I need to look after my sick child. I still feel like I'm letting work down, sort of. When my primary focus
should be your children.
Is my children. Because what's the point of having this job if I lose the child?
When I was researching on this topic as well, I saw something that said that just in relation to what you were saying, that should mothers prioritize their work over their careers? Because your child is sick.
Yes.
leave work first, because you are working, like you said, you're working because of the children.
I also think that
nobody should.
sometimes I think the struggle happens where maybe work is depending on you for something and you have a deadline. I think that's where the struggle is.
Yes.
And then something pops up with your child.
Yeah.
You need to prioritize that.
Sickness.
But you already know that you
can't
calling in
predict
sick
sickness.
is also failing the company.
Yes.
And I know, well, I
And
think
it's also affecting your own career growth
and
as
everything.
well.
So I think that those are the instances where we really struggle.
Yeah.
You know, it's different if oh thank God I have this in control. So if I call in sick, I'll catch up tomorrow. But sometimes this thing happens the day it shouldn't happen.
Yes.
Oh my God, you have a presentation, you have external clients, you have stakeholders coming. There's a stakeholder meeting. Boom, this happens.
Okay, now
you are torn.
I now get what you mean by we can have it all.
Yeah, you are torn. And you see with kids, and especially the season, like with the way all my kids were not feeling, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Some days I'm like, childcare just rank, oh my God. You already
Once
know
you
what
see a call from school or from childcare,
You already know.
your heart just
You
drops.
already
Like my day is going to take a different dimension.
Well, with
now.
my first child, one time I was just entering a meeting, which was just about to start. This was 9 o'clock. We had not even done the acknowledgement. The call, boom. You need to.
Yeah.
I looked at my manager.
So in all of this now, how do we balance our career development, our work responsibilities with our family responsibilities?
I would say something. Compromise is the word. I realized that just one time recently I was looking at job opportunities. I realized that where I want to go will take so much of my time. So a suggestion for me, this is what I thought, that I might need to come down a bit to be able to accommodate my current situation. And then when we are all stabilized and all that, then I can continue to pursue what I want to, because where I want to will take 80% of my time, and then my family will suffer. So these are things that I think can help people, or an awareness or something that people need to know, because I want to be an engineer, and if I have to pursue that, they need you all the time in the field. So maybe I might consider doing the management aspect of it, where I don't have to go to the field for now. And then kids are growing.
So that it doesn't
those kind
even
of
feel
things.
like your career has been put on a hold. Just find an aspect of your career that you can manage.
You can
so that
work
you can
on.
push it.
There was a video I saw about, there was this lady, I can't remember her name exactly, but she was talking about balancing career and raising kids and all of that. And then she said that when she went to work, her oldest daughter just called her and said, you're supposed to bring home-baked cookies to school today. And she was like, well, you didn't tell me. And then the daughter said, I kept it on the fridge. Maybe that's how they do their communication. Like if you need something, put it on the fridge, and then the mom will pick it up from there. And then the mom realized that she probably saw it but forgot. And then the daughter was like, it's our turn to bring the home-baked cookies. It has to be home-baked. You can't just run into a shop and buy it.
Oh no.
And then the woman was like, where am I going to find home-baked? How do I bake cookies in 45 minutes? But she's someone that is already very well established in her career. And she was able to reach out to some baker and say, look, I need cookies in 45 minutes. Don't put any fancy wrappers. It needs to look homemade. You know, and they were able to deliver on time, and then she dropped it off at school. Now, if you look at it, if she was like a stay-at-home mom, there's not much of a problem there, because she'll be in the know.
Able to do,
And then even attending school, like attending your kids' stuff in school. On a few occasions, I've had to tell my children, like, oh, I can't. Especially if it's those last minute requests, like, oh, mom, we'll have something tomorrow. You know, I've already made commitments that I can't move, but each time they tell me like days ahead, I try to shift things around and to be able to accommodate that, because
it. Especially when the kids go to school and they see other
parents are there, but why are my parents not here? Why is my mom not here? Yeah, so I don't know if it's even a balancing act. I think it's just a juggling thing.
A continuous juggling.
Yeah, I think it's just a continuous juggling. And as your kids grow up, some of the balls that you're juggling fall off.
Yes.
You don't need them. You don't need to handle them anymore. but it's just a continuous juggle.
Well, in juggling these, I think one of the most important things that comes to my mind is how we should take care of ourselves too as moms, because I constantly say you cannot give from an empty cup. So whatever you're doing, stay at home mom, working mom, it's important to also prioritize your self-care, because when you're happy, everyone else in the home is happy as well.
That's right.
For instance, my sister, I've been asking her, let's go and look at our leg. Oh, but just camera, I know you cannot see. You see the way Ogo vexed I went to go and do her nails. Please, Vex, let's go and do our nails. Like, we have to take care of ourselves either ways. We have to find time, because even in our appearance too, our kids would love to see us look good as well. You know?
And when you look good, you feel...
Yes, there's a certain kind of way.
You feel good about yourself.
I just went to go and do my hair now. See, and Ogo was already admiring me from the camera. You guys like it? Thank you.
I'm waiting for my own time.
I'm telling you. Like, even as moms, I'm always using my sister as an example, because she's like a walking example. I see how she tries to manage and balance it all. Her kids were sick. Oh, Mary, take and go to the GP. No, I don't have time. The kids are sick. I need to deal with the kids first. I'm like, no, just go GP. I do try and understand from her point of view sometimes, like, there's no time. Like 3 kids sick at once. No, it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot. So let's try and look for time to take care of ourselves. I'm looking at you side eyes.
And even people should not shame women that decide to stay at home and look after their children. Yes. The fact that you're working in an office does not mean that woman that's chosen to stay at home and raise her kids and look after her family, she's also working. Yeah. She's just not being paid for the work she does.
Yeah.
But she's working just as hard as you in the office.
I remember when we asked you, when are you going back to work? And you said, you don't know. Yeah. My mom says, no, I know you love to work. Go back, we'll manage it. Grandma, if you're watching, come back. Come back, we need you. But seriously, guys,
we're seeing how it goes.
Yeah.
We'll decide if we can keep up with it, or we'll restore back to being a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, I know.
Either way, I think, it just depends on situations. I think time will tell as you go. Just pay attention to what is working for you. And if it's not working, it's not working.
I know on this channel, we're mostly dedicated to things that affect women and all of that, but looking at it from the other side of maybe the other, our partners, have you guys ever thought to wonder how maybe they feel even when you say you're going to stay at home? Have we ever thought about the financial pressures or the other pressures that it takes on them to provide, like being the sole provider? So maybe we should invite the men one of these days.
Well, we should, because let me say, for example, if my husband's income is 150k and we decide that we can live comfortably on 150,000, it's still the same job he's doing, right? For that same money. But me taking on the responsibility of looking after the home, looking after the children, now even allows him to pursue his career further and go out there and even get a better, maybe the 200k job, the 250k job, you know.
But do you think that they would also feel a lot of pressure?
Well, it depends. You know, there are also instances where it's the man that tells you, I think you should stay home.
Yeah. I think that those ones are different.
But it also depends.
But there will still be a lot of pressure, because what if something, God forbid, anything? What if something happens to him, or he loses that job, or something like that?
Well, that's where some people will say the option of side hustle is important. But also in saying that, even if I decided to stay home, I'll still be looking at things that I could put my hands on that are flexible. Because nobody knows tomorrow.
Exactly.
Something that you know that
staying at home does not mean that you're just cooking and cleaning and washing and running after kids.
Yeah.
You also have time for self-improvement.
Yes. I did one when I was staying at home.
Exactly.
So it didn't change anything. That if anything happens tomorrow, I know that within 1 month, there's no way I can't get something going on.
Still continue, you understand? To develop.
Yes.
When we talk about independent, like, I believe every woman should be independent. I mean, saying that you should be independent, I mean, be in a position where you should be able to get a job at the drop of a hat. Like, if anything goes wrong,
or business,
you should be able to quickly get back into the workforce.
Or business.
Yeah, or business. You know, you should be you should position yourself such that you can still.
I know stay-at-home moms that from staying at home taking care of the kids, she introduced them. I know two moms. One, I think her name is August Secrets. I've watched her growth. She started to do like homemade cereal.
Yeah,
and
that
now
lady.
she's a big businesswoman.
Yeah.
I also know another one, more baby care. She started to do cream, just in trying to take care of her kids. So these are stay-at-home moms that started with businesses from home, and then it blew.
Yeah. So the fact that
they're not stay-at-home moms again because she had to build a factory.
Exactly.
But it took time, and as it was taking time, her kids were also growing too. So she was paying attention, to everything around her. So
at the end of the day, that you're stay-at-home mom does not make your brain, just leave your brain to grow cobwebs on it. That's not. That's not what we're saying at all.
We're saying find the balance, right? Find the balance.
And I don't think anyone's husband should be telling them, I think you should go back to work.
Because you love to stay at home.
First, because I love to stay at home, yes. But then we can talk about our financial situation as a family, and then make a decision. Yeah. But no one can be mandating a mom that you should go back to work.
It should be your personal decision.
Yeah, it should be a personal decision.
always your decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's our key to
And I might be old school.
Oh God.
I believe in gender roles.
Yeah.
Like everybody has their roles to play. Play it accordingly, please.
I think it's just understanding what support you have and working around that support. If it's your husband, if it's your mother-in-law, just trying to find. None of us can be isolated, but try and find some form of support that can keep you going. I think it's very important as moms to maintain your mental health, maintain your self-care, your sense of self as a human being, first of all, because like I said earlier on, you can't give from an empty cup. When your cup is full, you're happy to give,
Before we even round up, from conversations that I've had with lots of women across races, so it's not even like a black woman thing or African woman thing, across races, the women give birth. In caring for their child, they go back to work. They fall sick, or they start losing their hair, or many different things that like you just start having these symptoms that you can't even link to any particular sickness at all. I met a lady, after I chat with her, she told me that during the lockdown she had a child, and then she just developed this cough, and it kept on going. Eventually it turns out that she had cancer in her throat. Oh
my God.
Was it lungs or something? She's fine now, thank God, and I pray that her healing stays permanent.
Amen.
But you see, all of these things I feel are brought on by the pressure society puts on women to be everything. We cannot be everything. We can be one or the other. And if you even see women that have decided to stay on the same career, on the same level for years and years, it's not like she does not want to grow, or she does not want to, go in there and get more. Her priorities are different, and you can't possibly see it from where you're looking, because maybe
and our strengths are different.
And everyone's
the
strength
way we're able
different.
to cope is different.
Some people are just in the workforce because of financial situations. Some are there because they actually love it. They actually love being there, and even loving being there, they still want to look after their family and all that. So they know that if they want to go for more, the family will suffer, so they just stay on that level and keep collecting that 50K per annum, and just hope and wait, or just wait for the kids to get older to allow them to go get more financially or in the workforce.
If you see a woman on the street today, give her a hug, because this type of sacrifices we make on a daily basis, you cannot
quantify
it at all.
I think there was a research that they did, that if as a woman you outsource everything that you do for your family, no, if you outsource the cleaning, the cooking, the washing, the everything, outsource it, it's going into $200,000 a year. to outsource all of that.
Wow, that's a lot.
And how many people are in a position to earn that amount of money?
Exactly.
Well, you know, like, for me, one thing I always I say to people around me is that you can't do everything. And it's okay to let some things be. Because I realized that even if I do everything today, those things will still come up tomorrow for me to still do it. And next tomorrow. So it didn't matter that I have done it all. I still have to do it all again.
It's a rinse and repeat situation.
Exactly. So we just need to understand that it's okay that some things are undone.
Yeah.
And I think
And then you will get to it eventually. Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, hope you enjoyed this episode. We don't have the answers. We're just starting the conversation.
Yes.
And we hope you join us in this conversation and also provide your meaningful insights in the comments. And as we always say, living a life is free. Subscribing to the channel is free. So you can feel free to do that.
Like she said, it's free. Share.
Queen of life.
Yes. Share. And leave a comment, like she said. And we have our emails there. If you have anything to share with us, share with us. But most importantly, share. My sisters and brothers, I beg. You see this life, we want to...
The light queen.
We want to stay at home and be any...
We're trying to find the balance.
Yes, please. So that we can give our children the best, Please help us in this, our ministry. Thank you. God bless you.
Amen.
She said amen.
And a louder amen.
I mean, if we can get 1K likes,
we can have 1K subscribers.
Thank you, please, my people. Make
Let's
this
go
thing
on
happen.
there. Hit.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, thank you for joining us, and until next time. Bye.
Bye.